Hello, I'm Gwen Young, Director of the Global Women's Leadership Initiative and the Women in Public Service Project at the Wilson Center. You're watching Women on the Move, stories of women on the move, what motivates them, how they got to where they are, and how they're going to change the world. Today we're hearing from Farah Pandith, the former Special Representative to Muslim Communities for the U.S. Department of State.
So in the Bush administration, I was working in a role in the Europe Bureau at the State Department, working on countering violent extremism and looking at European youth. And I was on my way out from that role, and I was going to go outside of government. And I had the opportunity to brief the new Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton. And in that briefing, she said, "You're not leaving. I want you to do what you did in Europe, but I want you to do it around the world." So she created the position for me as the first ever special representative to Muslim communities. And she created that role based on the experience that I had had and my interest in making sure that we lift up voices of young Muslims around the world who can push back against the narratives of the extremists. And it was a tremendous opportunity to serve my nation. And I learned so much in that role. Well, I've had a lot of really wonderful experiences with my professors and teachers from both high school and in college and in graduate school. And I know that might seem odd, but they were the ones who gave me the strength and the confidence and the skills to be able to think differently, to be confident about the person that I am, to ask hard questions, to listen to my answers and to ask me to probe and go in new directions. Had I not had that kind of experience, I don't think I would be the woman I am today, for sure. The other part is, of course, what happens in the home. My mother was a working professional. She is a doctor. She's retired now, but she brought me to the United States when I was a baby, and I grew up in Massachusetts. And I had a role model who was a successful doctor, who ran a hospital, who always put questions on the table about what you could do and expanded my horizons in ways that were really, really broad. There was never a moment in my upbringing where it was you cannot do something, that you don't belong, that you don't have the capacity to do it. It was always, what are you passionate about? What do you want to do with your life? How can I help you get there? Having that role model was essential to grow, as I grew up, and to believing in myself and knowing that there was far more that I could do than just the limits of what might be in a book or what might be talked about in the hallways in a school. I have never been shy, and I think it's a really important thing for people who have the capacity to enlighten based on their own experience and data on the ground, to be able to articulate it in a way that the people that they work with understand. And throughout my professional career, obviously you're not always in a senior position. You learn from the others around you, but you find ways to put your opinion forward in a way that's respectful. You take the time to articulate things in the right kind of capacity. And that's what I've done throughout my professional career, whether I was working at the White House at the National Security Council, whether I was working at the U.S. Agency for International Development, learning the moment to be able to enlighten based on what your knowledge is and what you're seeing on the ground was very important. Gender didn't play a part in this. It was who I was as a professional and my own professional background coming forward, and not being shy about finding a way, if right then in a meeting isn't the right moment to be able to articulate, to find another way to make sure your opinion is put forward so that the policymakers, those that are actually evaluating the data, get a chance to see all of the perspectives on the table. Passion. Find your passion and go after it.